Omid Kojo Show.
Hello and welcome to the Omid and Kojo Show. I'm Kojo, and up there is my good pal, Omid.
Omid? I'm
Yeah,
Omid, mate.
It's Omid. But yeah, my rant. Alright, so I made this 25-minute quad full tutorial in a load of detail and stuff. But whenever I post a quad full, there's always some really stupid idiots who comment on it like, "That's a quint, bro." And I don't think it's like that stupid to not be able to count the twists. That's not the stupid bit, because a quad full has 4 twists and a flip in it. So people who don't know much about flips count it wrong. But how dumb must you be to think that the guy doing the flip doesn't know how many twists he's doing? You must have to think that it works like you just kind of jump up and spin and you just don't know
see what happens.
Like, they think that someone who has the control to do 5 twists doesn't know how many twists they're doing. And the person who's just watched this video a couple of times, they know better. And that blows my mind. So, that blows my mind. That there's
Welcome
people
to the population of the world.
Yeah, Instagram's really, it actually has changed my view of people over time. Because, like, I knew, like, at my school and stuff, like, I had some friends that were, like, pretty dumb, but my God. I mean, yeah, there's some dumb people out there.
I feel the same. I find it difficult to, because sometimes someone will say something and, like, I'm like, how, this just doesn't make any sense at all. And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's like a language barrier or something, because that's something that I never really used to be aware of.
Yeah.
But then things like that, it's like,
see, that's just like,
that's just foolishness.
Imagine. I just can't relate. I can't relate to that thinking. I can't think of, even if I was like 9, if I was 9 and I saw someone do a crazy flip, I wouldn't think I knew what it was better than they did. I just wouldn't assume that at any point in my life would I think that way.
Well, yeah, but we didn't have it quite the same way that a lot of these
with
kids
social
have.
I guess we didn't. It is weird.
Like,
imagine
so
growing up with
just,
this.
Yeah, it's just so easy to just like say shit.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like if online things just get buried and you might not get a response. Like, you're not responding to these people, so they don't get called up on it. So they're probably just like trolling the internet, just kind of saying shit.
Well, I think about the things that I used to say on Facebook when I first got a Facebook account, and it was just the dumbest, most pointless posts.
No, I know.
Like, referring to myself in the third person, like my name, like, just went running or something.
Yeah, but it's like the world was also trying to figure out how best to use social media. That's true. At the time, it would kind of goad you into saying, like, Kojo has done this, or Alex has done this.
That's like what it used to be like.
You kind of couldn't really do anything without signing on as who you are, even though it says it right above you. But also, one other thing that I don't really get is like the mean comments, but not just the mean comments without context. Like, I get this so frequently on some of my YouTube videos where people just put "fuck you." And I'm like, you're watching a video about trampolining and flips. Why does this make you just erupt with anger to the point where you gotta just tell me "fuck you"?
It's a weird thing to get angry about. No, I do think about that sometimes. Like when people leave nasty comments for me. Like, I'm just a guy that all I do is post videos of flips on the internet, and also videos of me teaching people how to do flips. Yeah, that's what I do.
How does that
provoke? How does that provoke people?
What are you doing that makes these people so mad at you that they just want to tear you a new one?
I don't know. But yeah, should we get on to what we were actually going to be doing today? Not just
so today we are going to be reviewing some clips, and we're going to be fixing your flips, basically. So hopefully you got broken flips and we can fix them.
We can fix them.
All right, okay. So let's kick this bad boy off with this one. Also, I haven't seen any of these, so yeah. What are we doing here?
The Cork Screw.
The Cork Screw. Okay. Do you want to? Oh, is the sound playing for me or you?
Just you. See, now you're experiencing it.
Yeah, but there's a little button at the top that says mute, so it's done.
Okay.
I just mentioned it for 2 seconds. You spoke about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you need to moan about it more. All right, so the main problem here, and I'm interested to see if you agree or not, but what I'd say is the main thing is his position as he finishes the step, because he's already kind of leaning back more than you'd want to. So I'd say that's the main thing. If he just spots the ground as he finishes the step, so he's in more of a leant forward position, then he'd have more space to throw his chest backwards, and he'd be able to get more flip, and he wouldn't land short. So yeah, I'd say that's the main thing.
Yeah, I'd say that's also the main thing. Yeah, just having that chest above the takeoff leg is most important at this one. But additional things to mention, I would say blocking quicker. So take off of the leg that you're taking off way sooner, because right now there's just too much of a disconnect between you finishing the J step and you taking off of the cork. You may as well have not done the J step if you're just going to stop for that long before you actually do the cork.
Yeah, I think one thing that helps people to understand that is, like, imagine thinking about coming out of your J step and you want to push off that leg in the same way you'd push out of a round off. Like when you do a round off, you don't stop and then jump. You just push into the ground and go. And it's the same thing with a J step. For you to get power from it, you need to just push into the ground and go straight away, just like a round off.
But I understand this is a particularly weird one, because this is something I was going through one of my Skype privates earlier in the week. Like when you take off, when it's on a harder floor, it is harder to like
get that fast rebound.
Break through that barrier, because it kind of feels somewhat destructive sometimes, depending on the technique that you're using. So you have to feel it out and like don't just like stamp on the ground, but you gotta think about it as if you're rebounding. I always use the example of a round off too. So just think about it like that, and that should help.
It's one of those things that's kind of weird at first, but if you keep it in mind and you practice enough, then you get used to it.
And once all the other things are like fine-tuned as well, it doesn't feel like pressure. And well, I mean, it does a little bit sometimes. It depends on what you're doing. But if you've got your chest in the right position and all that kind of shit, then it makes it a lot easier to execute. So, yeah, next one. Wait, can I move me? Oh, no, I can't.
I don't think so. All right, okay. We get the idea, though, of what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, go on. What do you have to say?
I would say keep your head up for a little bit longer to lessen the actual drop. Because once you start tucking that head in to get the rotation, you can no longer be getting height. So the second that chin comes down towards your chest, that's you stopping all of your height. So if you keep it up for a little bit longer and then move it a little bit more violently if you need to in order to like initiate the rotation, it means you have more time to get height and then get a quicker rotation so that you can actually do the trick and then finish a lot sooner so that you're just dropping out of it. And pace. Yeah.
Well, I'll focus on the other side of things as you got the chin sorted. So hips. Now you do, like, as you kick your leg backwards, you need to push your hips backwards just as hard. In fact, the hips are going to do just as much as the leg. But one thing that he's doing here is when he like first touches the ground, when he first plants his left leg, his hips are already quite far backwards. So that means as he swings the leg back, he's not going through that big a range of motion. So I try to do the step onto your leg with your hips like not pushed forwards, but straight under your chest. So you're just standing up straight. And then as you kick the leg back, then push your hips backwards. Like I had that problem with front swing raise, I noticed recently. Like I kept finishing it with my hips already sat backwards. And if your hips are already back in any front swing trick, then you don't get to push them back as far. So you want to have them like somewhat forwards so that they can go through a really big range of motion and flip you around faster.
And then the other thing is just the pace. So everything's just a little bit too slow as you're taking off. It's pretty much the same problem as what was going on with the cork before. And
I got,
stop it. Just stop
someone's
it.
provoked a little rant. So, sorry, people on YouTube, we can't see the comments. Sorry.
Well, we'll get into that in a second.
All right,
Just
go on,
move,
finish,
just move a
finish.
little bit faster. And when you're taking off of your left leg, you want to try and swing that left leg, the right leg back even faster to get the rotation and the power. Like Kojo's always talking about putting that swing leg for like higher before you take off. For me, I don't. I find that a little bit more awkward because of the weird technique that I have, which granted isn't great. But I'm not talking about the laid out one. I'm talking about I'm talking about when I do normal Webster.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't think it works as well for that. Like the way you do it does work for those other Websters, but it doesn't work as well.
I think you can. I think you can kind of call it a Webster.
I don't think so. I don't know how
I don't think. I think it's just also a front walkover.
They're different moves. They're different moves.
But it's like
all right. So people have context. Tricks Matt said, Omid, can you explain how to do your special Webster, please? Someone else said, I don't know, something about Omid's Webster. So Omid's Webster, he's doing.
Wait, before you out me, let me explain. I've had the whole community. Well, not the whole community.
Omid's Webster's so good.
I've had so many people hoodwinked about this trick for so long.
I don't understand it. I don't understand how he's getting away with it. I don't understand how people are always asking him, how's your Webster so good? He's not doing a Webster, he's doing a front aerial. He's doing a gymnastics front aerial, not as well as gymnasts do it, and everyone loves it, and it doesn't make any sense because it's not a Webster, it's a front aerial or front walkover.
I'm a bloke.
It's a different move. It's a different trick.
I've got a cock and balls, so it's lovely when I do it.
Yeah,
you're not used to seeing men do it.
That's true, you know. It's suddenly, for some reason, when you do it, it's suddenly not a gymnastics move, and it's a Webster now.
I love it. It makes me laugh so much.
It's funny how you get away with it, though. It is. I mean, props for that.
I never actually called it a Webster. I don't think I've ever called it a Webster. Or if I have, it's because I've got swept away with everyone else calling it Webster. But I remember when I first posted it, I just it was one of those tricks where I didn't specify what it was. I just kind of posted it because I know I'm cheating it. I know I'm not doing the thing, but at the same time, I just think it looks cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's also because I got to hide the fact that my normal Webster is ass. It's really not
it's because of the leg thing. It's because you're bringing your leg up like you would for a front aerial.
Nah, but even when I do it like where I step back, I think there's other problems that I have in my Webster, and I have been trying to work on them like sporadically, but it just kind of it gets a bit lost in translation because it just feels shit.
Basically, because there's going to be people who won't get it, like why it's different. Basically, if that's a Webster, then a front handspring and a front walkover are the same thing in your eyes, apparently, but they're not. They're different moves. Like moves are different. Webster, if you're looking at the ground the whole time and you're doing it it's an aerial technique, it's fully laid out. It's a front aerial, it's a move, it's an existing trick in gymnastics and in dance. It's an existing thing, so you can't just rename it a Webster. Webster is a better way of
I think a better way of describing it is not front walkout and front handspring. It's like punch front, like tucked front and layout or something, like front layout. Because they are just different tricks. Like they deserve different names, but they're from the same kind of family. Whereas
they are, like Jordan said, back tuck and flash kick. Like exactly, yeah. Like they're similar, but they're different. They're still different, you know.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think Webster. I think
if you call it like a Webster layout or something, I think that's fine.
But even a Webster layout, that could still be a different thing. Like
how do you mean?
Well, like the difference between a front handspring and a front walkover, like with the hands down, they're different things. Like if you're doing it kind of split legs all the way around, spotting the floor all the way around, then that would be like what you're like a front aerial. But if you wanted to do a Webster layout, then I'd say you'd like go into a straight position. You wouldn't look at the ground the whole time. You'd like let your chin in after you leave the ground.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
I don't know. I'm not a gymnast. Like someone said, layout and
whip is different.
And they
no,
are.
that's fair.
They are.
That makes
Layout
sense.
and whip take off, like they take off facing the same way. They're both a backflip. They're both like laid out, but they're different moves, and that's why I say it's different to a Webster.
Okay, but if you, I don't know. Let's not talk about this for too.
It doesn't matter.
I'll just fuck it
funny.
up. But it is. It's always made me laugh.
It is funny.
I love these little things.
I do like that you get away with it, but I like ranting about it because it's funny.
It's funny as well because you can do it just as good, if not better than me.
Nah, well, I don't do I can do front aerial. You know, I used to do them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just do it. You just. I don't know. I've seen you do it.
I don't. But I don't try and do like that's the thing. It's like there's people seem to really like. This is what confuses me. People really like the aesthetic of like a front aerial and calling it whenever anyone does a front aerial, but it's like not a gymnast who does it. Then they're like, oh, that's like the cleanest Webster. But if a gymnast does it, then they don't care. And I don't understand it. That's the thing. It just confuses me. It's not that's what annoys me because everyone loves it if a tricker does a front aerial, but gymnasts do it better, but they just ignore that. And I don't get it.
Someone said, but he's doing it from a tricking setup, so why we can't name it again as a tricking way? I mean, I get that.
Fair.
I get that.
Point.
But when I do it, I don't do it. I mean, I can do it just as well. Like, you know, when you do the step back as if you're going to do a Webster, I can do it just as well from that setup, but it's not as comfortable. I'd much prefer just doing this ridiculous hop and a swing. I think that, you see, because there's certain things in my tricking that I just think are comedy, and no one ever brings it up. But to me, I laugh every time, every single time. I like having the comical side of shit. But that's enough about Websters and front walkouts. Let's fix these goddamn flips.
Yeah. All right. Next flip.
Who's this kid?
Oh yeah, he wants snappy.
Snappy.
Nice. Yeah, go on. You're the man for that.
Well, okay. First thing, I would suggest you got to commit to the twist sooner, way sooner. Because right now you are doing a side swipe and then just kind of like getting that last rotation when you're like this high off of the ground. So once you've reached that position where your right leg is like past your chest and you're around halfway through the swipe, that's when you got to initiate the twist. And in doing so, you got to straighten your body out and pull your arms in. Because right now you've got your right arm out for so long that you're never going to actually be able to pull that in time and get the full rotation in. Not when you're learning it anyway, unless you twist like Shosei.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking because he's got the. Well, I mean, the timing's not down because obviously the twist's too late. But it's a really nice side swipe, and he's got
for sure
in the air. If that right arm was just kind of wrapping the whole time after the takeoff, like you could still keep the leg extended, so it's one continuous motion instead of side swipe twist. If you're trying to twist as you're kicking, it'd probably be a lot easier.
Well, I just think once you reach that, because he has the perfect inversion on his side swipe to make it like a killer snafu. So once that right leg has passed the left leg in terms of the kick, pull that right arm into your chest, pull your hips over, and just embrace, and you got it 100%.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Bless.
got?
For this one, we've got a lovely tree.
It's like the tree I sent you.
Why did you send me this?
I don't know. It's by accident. It was on my walk. I just thought, oh, that's an interesting tree.
Oh, okay. It's lovely, that is.
Take a little picture.
Wow, that was weird.
He wants to swing it. Remember, he said.
Okay. Hang on. Let me see. Oh, my hamstrings, bro. These lady workouts have been killing me. Okay.
What do you think?
In terms of tech for the full, it looks fine to swing, but you're going too high. You need to kill some of the inversion. And the best way to do that is kind of, you don't necessarily need to lift the shoulders up quite as much. And as you're doing the twist, bear in mind, my cart full swing isn't the best. I find it kind of tricky not to go too high too. But whenever I have made it powerful, it's by the second my feet land from the cartwheel, I throw my arms pretty much at the ground behind me or like to the side of me. And this means it kind of stops you from going too high. It's a super whippy motion, and then you kind of can't help but swing it when you do it that way. And yeah, because right now you're just landing and it's killing all your flip, and then there's just the commitment of trying it to gainer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with all of that, but a bit of a different approach to it. Now, doing a cart full too high, that doesn't mean you can't like do stuff out of it. Like ideally you'd want to do it lower and faster to carry more momentum. But even doing a pretty high cart full, like if you land in the right position, you can still hit cork and stuff easy out of it. You can even,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I do mine way too high and I can still double cork out of it fine. Like it doesn't need to be that honed. So I'd say just something to get you swinging it sooner so that you can be doing it into gainers and into corks when you are practicing it and like making it lower. I'd say think about letting that right arm come out earlier in the flip. So you get into your eagle position earlier. Because if you open up and let that arm out, it's going to slow down your flip. So you'll be able to land in a leaning forward position, looking at the ground, which is what you want to swing again. Because at the moment, you're coming out so late that your legs kind of nearly swung through by the time you land. So you don't really have much space to swing it. So yeah, I just pretty much open up earlier, but do that by letting that right arm out.
Well, coming off the back of what Kojo just mentioned, the reason I said try and make it lower and whippier is because whenever I do, when I was first learning to do like scoop full swing as an example, I kept doing it too high. So when I did land, because I didn't really understand how to still just kind of muscle the swing out of it, it felt like the most effort ever. But then once I figured out how to kind of kill that like height, it meant that when I was landing, it felt right in order to swing it. So it was a lot easier for me to do it. Because when the commitment issue is there as well, I found it easier when the setup is giving me mad power into the next trick. Because even if it's not a fully inverted gainer or it's not, a perfect gainer, if you're doing like something that resembles a gainer, you just get used to swinging it. So that's why I said.
But you don't need loads of power when you first. Like it's kind of easier with less power. I think when you're doing your first swing through out of a full or a cork or something, if you have tons of speed, it's like way scarier. If you just a bit higher, you just have more time. You're just kind of chilling because it's not hard to do the gainer. It's just like control, really.
That's true. But in terms of like breaking that mental barrier, for me anyway, I preferred it when it was like a lot faster because then it's like the full's over and then I've got all the momentum and the power to take me into a gainer. So it's a lot easier to just kind of let that mental block go.
Just let yourself fly around.
Yeah.
I guess. I think you should just try out all of this and see if you can make it work. Because there's not one right way to do it. It's like I found my first swing so scary. And what made it easier for me was like I did it out of B-twist first, doing a higher B-twist, just because I had so much time out of my B-twist. I was like chilling, spotting, and like, okay, and then swing. So even though it wasn't as efficient, it was less scary for me. So just whichever way you want to go about it,
Well, that leads me on to something that I want to mention as well when we're talking about these things, because especially in the earlier days when Kojo and I were learning things, I've had examples where with my gainer switch, the first time I swung it, it was really easy for me. But the way I did it was just by jumping as high as I could and doing a gainer switch and then trying to jump as high as I could and do another one. And it was really easy. I think I did it like second attempt. But then with cart full swing, it was a lot for me to be able to break through that mental barrier. So I had to use that approach where I tried to do it as fast as possible, get the power, and then just get the gainer done. And the point is like both Kojo and I are going to have slightly different, approaches to mental barriers or techniques or anything like that. But it's kind of because like with the mindset side of things, there is no one set way. Yeah. But with technique, there is generally a more efficient way of doing things. Yeah. But having said that, there are sometimes things that work really well for you, but they're not going to work for everybody. So you got to kind of pick and choose and lean into certain things and choose not to do other things.
It's like there's a load of different ways. Like there is an ideal technique for most things, but there's a lot of different ways you can get to that technique. You don't have to take one route. Like you've got to figure out, and when it comes to fear stuff, you just got to figure out what's going to make it feel less scary to you, which can be completely different for different people. You've just got to figure out what makes it feel comfortable for you to do.
Yeah, of course.
But next one.
We digress. What is that? A spring? Oh no, it's an air tree. Okay, so what are we doing here? Are we doing?
I think he wants to GMS.
GMS. Okay, first of all, I would not be learning shit on there. That shit would scare me so much.
Yeah.
I know it's technically a good way of learning, and also this is kind of a good trick to be learning on there, but that shit would scare me beyond belief. Okay, let me see this one more time. Okay. I would say the first thing is trying to make that whole thing a lot faster, and in doing so, swing the leg that goes in front, the left leg, swing that way harder, and still do it while putting your hands down, but just gradually get it to the point where you're going a little bit higher and you're rotating a little bit faster. And when you do put your hands on the ground, it's not for quite as long. And then just build it up that way until you get to the point where you're like, right, I don't need to put my hands down and I can just land on my foot. What would you say?
I'd say just out of the cartwheel, throw your hands at the ground much, much faster, really. Because it's like he's kind of stopping a bit and then going on to him. They need to throw down towards the ground. Because for GMS to work, then it's like as you're coming up out of the cartwheel, your head and chest need to be going down as your hips go backwards, and that's what's going to flip you around. If you kind of finish the cartwheel and then you take off and then your head and chest go down, then you're going to be flipping around the way higher point, and then your GMS is going to be way harder. It's like imagine trying to do an aerial where your head's like chest height. It's going to be really hard to get your legs round. So same with GMS, like throw your arms, shoulders, head down fast.
I mean, yeah, I agree with everything Kojo said. And it is a little bit different because you are reaching for the ground. But even still, like this is why I wanted to look at it a few times, because even still, you can just kind of engage those shoulders the second you're going into what is the GMS prereq, because you need to get the shoulders up while throwing the arms. And this is what's going to give you both the rotation and the height in the trick. But yeah. Next one.
All right. The dub. What do you think, Omid?
Okay, the chest position. The chest positioning seems all off. Let me watch it again.
I think it's that left shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, lots of people do this, and dubs especially. Like really drop that one shoulder as they're leaving the ground. Like I'd say a good way to judge it, a good way to make sure your shoulders are in the right position, is as you're swinging, think about spotting the ground in front of you, or some people spot their leg in front of them. Anything that's going to make you stay like this in a dish position. And then as you're taking off, try to get both elbows above shoulder height and then drop it and twist. If you're swinging up and you've already dropped one shoulder, it's just going to cut the height that you can reach. And it's going to make you kind of go off to the side a bit. So
and also,
that'll be the main thing, I'd say.
When, like, just one other thing as well, like when your hips are in a little bit of a weird position. It's almost like they're too, like, cocked back. I don't even know how to describe that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like his ass is just, he's kicking his ass out too much as he's taking off out of the touchdown rates. And that's another thing that's just going to kill all of the height and the flip.
What, you mean going too forwards? What do you mean?
No, he's kicking his ass out behind it. He's in this weird position as he's taking off at the touchdown raise.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't really come. Okay, yeah, you
I don't really know how
need
to describe that. Sorry.
Try and connect your swing leg to your hips. Think about this with everything. If you're doing a front swing or a back swing, or like always try if you're swinging your leg forwards, your hips should be going forwards as well. Try and think of them as connected. Like as you swing, push your hips forwards. Because you'll see Shosei and a load of other people can land triple cork without swinging their leg, but they can't land it without pushing their hips forwards. The hips are actually more important than your swing leg. So yeah, make sure they push forwards.
Yeah.
Let me just respond to one of these comments because I see stuff like this sometimes and it pisses me off. All right. No, it doesn't. But he said, okay, I don't know what he's talking about. He said, but I tried to use every tip I saw from best trickers and I'm not any better at them. So what's the problem here? The problem here is that you've not tried it enough. I mean, whatever it is you're struggling with, don't be complaining about it not working if you haven't put in, what, like 1,000 reps, 2,000, 3,000? Have you spent 6 months trying it consistently? Because if you haven't, stop whinging and get practicing.
I mean, I don't even have to see the trick that you're talking about, but I can tell 100%. And it's also because of that mentality that you feel like someone else is just going to give you, someone's going to give you the magic answer, which obviously the more information, the better. Don't get me wrong, but no one else is going to be able to do the work for you. You have to implement all of that information and also weed out the good from the bad information. Because if you're just trying to get advice from as many people as possible, it's going to end up confusing you. And some of it's going to be good, some of it's going to be bad. That's just kind of the way it goes. So you need to kind of work on it yourself and put the hours in. Otherwise, you're not going to get that progress. But
true. And also do the studying as well. I think people should study more flips. Like if you do get a load of advice from different people, then make sure you look at some of the people who are the best in the world at that trick and make sure they're doing what you've been told. That's normally a good gauge. And he says, it's probably because my latest knee surgery, the knee I jump. Focus on fixing your knee first then. Yeah. And then focus on the tricks. If your knee's holding you back from doing a trick, then what, like
the tricks are the least of your concern.
Yeah, focus on fixing the knee. Like address the problem first.
Yeah.
Someone said maybe spamming it wrong can build bad habits, so it becomes harder to take in advice. I definitely agree with that.
I had that a lot.
When you do build up a really bad habit, it can take the piss to fix it. And that's why I think the 1,000 rep challenge is a good way to go about fixing stuff like that. That's what I used for touchdown raise. It worked really well. Yeah. But
again, you can't go into it blind.
Yeah, you need to know what you're fixing. That's the thing. You need to like really isolate and know what to fix first as well, because that's important. If you're trying to fix things in the wrong order, then it can kind of mess you up. If you're trying to get your chest in the right position, but your hips are in the wrong position, your chest will never really go to where it needs to be because your hips are stopping it. Like, try and arch your back. Try and do a bridge with your hips sat backwards. It doesn't work. They need to push forwards. And so any trick where you want to arch, it's not going to work if you're not using your hips. Yeah. So yeah, it's important to know these things when you're training. It helps.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We got a question. This is an odd question, but I always accidentally hyper tricks when I try to land it regularly or randomly twist. Not sure if anyone else has this problem or how do you fix it. I do. Whenever I mess up like a cork, I hyper it now because I'm trying to protect my ankle. So I don't know if it's an injury that's made you do that. The way to like fix that is kind of intentional training. Let's say you're doing a cork or a full, you keep hypering it. Try and do some corks and fulls where you do it really chill, really controlled. The whole focus is landing on your swing leg first. It seems simple, but there's not much anyone else can tell you. It's just a mentality thing. You need to force yourself to do it the way you want to do it. And once you force that like 20 times, 30 times, your body will start to just do it. So there's no need to overthink something like that. Like, you can just fix it by really focusing on what you need to do and getting some reps in, and then it'll be chill.
Yeah. I had that when I was a little bit younger, where I just I didn't even know what leg I was going to land on sometimes, especially when I was doing twisting tricks on grass. I always found like sometimes I'd just be landing on my right leg for no reason. But that just kind of went away because of all the things that you mentioned. So
yeah, he said he sprained his ankle a week ago. So yeah, you know what to do. Like keep healing the ankle and then do that when you're comfortable landing on it, and it'll get comfortable again. It does feel weird though after an injury, learning to land on the injured leg again. It's like sketch at first, so no need to rush into it. Maybe land like 2 feet a load of times first. Yeah.
All right, we got one more. Let's do this one.
I think this might be the same guy with another double cork. Yeah, so we got another angle. And
I mean, that was a much better attempt.
It was, yeah. But again, the shoulder dropped. The shoulder does drop. The hips could go forwards more. And the touchdown raise, to make it a little bit better, try and think about try and reach as far as you can in front of you with both arms. So I think left arm really far out in front and then right arm really far out in front. It's just going to stretch you out and get you a better blocking angle.
Yeah. That's fair. I don't have that much to add. They're just the main things. So, yeah, that's a wrap on all of those. So, hope that was useful. Hope that was helpful.
Yeah.
And everyone needs to stop being a little puss and just get your flips.
Everyone's getting it done. They're all working hard. Now, it is cool to see. It's cool that whenever we put it out that if people want advice, there's always plenty of people that do want advice. It's good to see like the enthusiasm. You know, everyone's trying to get better.
No, especially during this period as well, because like it's fucking long. Especially in the UK as well. Like I just haven't been able to drink all week.
Oh, just because it's pissed.
Just because the weather's just been awful.
Yeah.
Also, someone said that wine's hitting Omid. You think not even half a glass of wine is gonna hit me different? You got the wrong Omid. Trust me.
It might mess you up.
Not a man with a drinking problem like me. I only drink when I'm on live, and he's on live every single day of the week.
Trix Matt said, "Are you always in the lockdown?" We're allowed to go out and do stuff now, like I don't know. We can do whatever really. It's just most places are closed, so where do you even go?
But shops are opening in like a week.
They are. Well, I'm dipping soon.
Coffee shops. Bro, coffee shops are going to be open again.
That's going to be nice.
Oh, I'm going to be in them. I cannot wait. Someone said if SPG is still on, are you coming? Brother, if SPG goes ahead, not only will I eat my hat, I'll eat everyone else's hat that's there. And, yeah, I'll be there.
If anyone was going to still throw their gathering though,
it would be K-Slash, yeah.
It'd be K-Slash, so maybe.
Yeah, that would be hype. I'd love that.
I wouldn't be there, I don't think. So I'm going to be in Portugal. I haven't really thought about it much, but yeah, I guess I'm leaving the country in like a month. It's weird how little thought I put into these things, but yeah, so I'm leaving the UK in a month. If anyone's interested, I'm moving to Portugal because the UK is technically still in the EU until the end of December. So if I move now, well, in July, then if I'm there for 3 months, then I can get like a 5-year residency there. So that's what I'm going to do. Going in July, moving to Portugal. I'm going to rent a house with enough space to have a home spring floor, and I'm going to build a home spring floor, and I've completed life at that point, so sweet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Omid's going to come live in the cupboard, under the sink.
Gonna be an Omid under the stairs.
You got to come visit, though, Mid. You got to come visit.
We need to have a proper conversation about things that have progressed over the past day.
What?
Just not on the live, but we need to sit down and talk about things. Just about plans moving forward. But speaking about plans moving forward, I'm really excited because all of the stuff on the Sobriety store sold out, all the new stuff, except for one large T-shirt. So if anyone watching this bought one, then thank you so much, and I appreciate you. And if you haven't bought one and you're a large, then go and grab the last T, because
they are good. All right, I'll say this honestly. They are good T-shirts. They're stretchy. They're comfortable. They're good. They're actually good. I mean, you wouldn't expect it from Omid.
Hey, less of that, you big couple.
They are actually decent.
So I give you that one.
But
yeah, it'll be good moving forward. Like, I don't know, like all the things that we've spoke about in the past, like wanting to kind of, I mean, the immediate thing for me once the gyms reopen, I want to get to every single gym in the UK. Like, I want to go to every single gym in the UK and just kind of run around, go into like all the sessions and stuff, and then just organizing and trying to build on the community that we have in the UK, because it's so like spread out and there's like a few things.
Yeah, people don't travel around enough. Like free runners do. You see free runners going to other gyms and stuff in other communities. But trickers in the UK, we need to like go see each other more.
Well, it is different. It is different for free runners, because like if they go to a new, that's the thing. Like if we go to a new gym, honestly, the chances are it's going to be way worse than our current ones.
That is true.
Because we're really fortunate in Birmingham with the gym setups that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they open soon. So yeah,
that'll be good. Is there anything? Is there anything going on with the future of KTL that you want to discuss? Because you're changing things up a little bit.
I am changing. I want to do more bigger videos, and people have asked about it before, getting more like graphics and stuff to help explain points. And I do my own like shitty version because I can't do super high tech ones. Like it gets the message across, but I want to do more professional ones. So I'm going to start paying people to make that happen. Because if I produce less videos, then I can put more money into each one and make way higher quality videos. So I'm going for more higher quality, but less of them. Like if you see my ultimate gainer switch guide, anyone, more like that, which is the most in-depth tutorial anyone's ever made. And I'll say that because, I mean, show me one that's even half as in-depth, because there's not.
You're gonna struggle.
No one else is wasting 60 hours making a stupid video. So yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is, really. Oh, Nev signed up for KTL. Yes, Nev.
Yes,
you know why
Nev.
you have already signed up?
Well, I mean,
imagine. Now, I just think if I started, like when I started tricking, if I'd had those things, all that information from the start, then it would have saved me like a year of failing tricks. Like I would have progressed more in a month than I did in the first year, because I didn't get aerial for months because I was trying to do a really high cartwheel. I didn't get cork for months because I was trying to do a back full, like a straight gymnastic full off one leg. Like all of these things, if I just had the good tutorials, I would have gotten like way, way faster.
Well, no, it does change things. It really does. Especially having multiple versions of tutorials as well. Like hearing it from multiple people. Nev said because my dad is tight. Nev, your dad is not tight. Your dad is an absolute saint. I don't know, you've got an amazing setup for you to progress. Fair enough, if your dad doesn't want to spend the money on KTL, thinking about it, fair enough, because the amount of money he spends on you, taking you to Italy, taking you to Ireland, every single gym session, doing privates with Omid. I don't know, you've got such a great setup.
All right, so Oliver said, are you guys going to continue doing the streams after the COVID's gone?
Yeah,
and
of course.
Yeah, the plan is we want to keep up doing them. We'll do more of them like in person. I guess I'll be in a different country then, so we won't do that many in person.
Well, one thing that we were talking about, we want to do essentially over the next few weeks or months, we want to do slightly different kind of tests to see what's going to work best, to see what's going to be, because the thing is, like, obviously if you're watching the saludos desde Chile.
We always get the Chile comment.
We gotta say hello to Chile. Someone just commented that. But yeah, so we want to do some tests to see if we can up the quality while we're in different locations and stuff. Like if we did it on YouTube Live, if that's a possibility, or I don't know. What do you guys think? If we were to do it on like a different platform, or if things were just slightly different, if it was just on YouTube as an example, would you guys go and watch it as well? Let us know, because these are things that we're going to try out, and we're just going to see what happens.
We're going to start doing more interviews with different trickers. We tried it with me and Omid being in the same place, but it didn't work so well. So I think we're probably going to pre-record those on Zoom, and then maybe like once a week or something, we'll have an interview with someone. So it's something like that.
Yeah.
And so someone said Twitch. I don't know. It's just getting people to move over to Twitch to watch it.
That's the thing.
I've never used Twitch, so I don't know anything about it either.
Neither have I. I think this is. I mean, currently this is a good setup because we get the viewers at the time when we're live, and then we also get the viewers that see it on YouTube. But I feel like because a lot more people in our community are just frequently using YouTube and frequently using Instagram, whereas we're not gamers, and Twitch is a lot more kind of pushed towards gamers and stuff. So I don't know.
It will grow over time. We do want to keep doing these. I think they're really good for, just practicing speaking and explaining and just talking about different topics and cracking out Stromid,
Yeah. I mean, every now and then, you never know when it all happens. Let's keep it real. Because
I love what it does to your teeth.
I know, it's great. Also, I'm working on a little edit for Soul Piety, and I've got a song. And if anybody knows Flatbush Zombies, it's called Big Shrimp.
Big Shrimp.
It's such a sick song. But I just had to use Big Shrimp. It's such a good track. Because I'm Shramid. And you guys are all part of the cult of Shramid and the church of Shramid.
People are saying, people just talk on Twitch as well and stuff. So maybe Twitch in the future, we'll just try different things out, and we'll see like how many people we can get watching on different ones. And
well, the thing is, if we're doing it on Twitch, then you guys need to help us.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, in order for it to be
watching.
In order for it to be worthwhile, we need you guys to not only watch it, we need you to promote it for us.
Slap it on the story. Help us out.
Yeah, help us out, man. If you want to be part of the Church of Shromid, listen, your Lord Master Shromid is talking to you now. Shromid is addressing you, and thou shalt listen. So promote it if we do it on other platforms.
All right, Omid, we got a topic. Is the stash making a comeback? I was talking about this the other day, that Omid's mustache, that's where all the magic comes from.
I mean, yeah. Kojo's pushing for this because, listen, something you need to know about Kojo. Now, he's a very special human being, and he's my best mate. But at the same time, he would happily watch me fall for his own amusement and make me look like an absolute cockle, just so he can sit there laughing the way he is right now. Now, a couple of weeks ago, when we went for a walk or whatever, we were talking about it, and I said, but you see, the issue is, I don't know if I want to look that way anymore because it is a bit ridiculous. Let's keep it real. And Kojo was just like, yeah, that's great though. You want to look ridiculous. And it's just so whenever he sees me, he can have a little chuckle.
It's good for YouTube.
Oh, fuck off.
It's good for But that's why I first started calling you Omid though, because it's funny.
Yeah, I know. That's what all of the things in our relationship over the years have just stemmed from something being hilarious to one of us or both of us. And it took a while for me to kind of get to grips with that, because you just want things to happen because you find them funny. Like Kojo likes kind of awkward interactions sometimes because they're really, really funny, whereas to me, they make me want to die. And I'm not a big
crazy character. I like crazy characters.
I don't know. You do get it. It's a little bit different for you now, though. As you've got a little bit older, I don't know. Your tolerance for those kind of things has kind of dwindled a little bit.
It depends. It depends what mood I'm in.
I know, but
I mean, sometimes
on average,
being mental.
On average, it's definitely got a little bit less. You're still a ridiculous human being, but you don't enjoy being around other people that are being outrageous quite as much.
At gatherings, I do sometimes.
No, that's fair.
You just get Four Loco in me.
There's just a time and a place. God, Four Locos, bro.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Bro. Oh, we need some kind of Four Loco session.
I miss gatherings. It's been weird not going to any American gatherings.
I know, dude. I miss America so much. Like, I genuinely think about it all the time.
Well, it's a mess over there at the moment.
I don't fucking know.
Best to stay away.
I don't know. Someone was telling me the other day, like, it's best to just stick. Like, one of my friends from the UK was just saying, "It's a good job you didn't actually." Because think about that. Imagine if this whole shit had gone down and everything was going mental, but what we'd gone to America just before. Not only would we be stuck there during COVID, we ended up getting stuck there during the riots and stuff like that and the protests. Fuck, that'd be hectic.
That would be crazy. America's an interesting place. So Dylan said, "I live in America, lol." Niall said, "America is whack as hell." See, I'd say America is whack as hell in some ways, but then it's also great in other ways. I think America's really fun. I think it's a really fun place, and they've got a load of really cool things there, but not a good place to live. In fact, if you're really rich, then I think America's probably the best place to live in the world. But if you're not rich, not a good place to live, really. You know, I'd be done if I lived in America. Just from my injuries alone, the treatment for them, I'd just be in so much debt. I'd be in so much debt and paying for various healthcare things. Like, just healthcare would have me in poverty. It's like, it's not worth it, really. And you always have to tip everyone, and I don't know.
I hate that shit. Good. And also the fact that every single thing that you buy, they lie to you. They can't just tell you the truth. They're like, okay, this is going to cost $2.64. And it's like, okay, that's what I expect to pay. And then you get to the till and it's like $3.10. I'm like, why would you not just tell me? Why? It doesn't make any sense.
It's just their system, but they only do that in some places, and they're not in others.
It's mental. I don't know. I do love America though.
It's fun.
It's
the roads
interesting as well.
That's one of the biggest things I noticed in America. Is just how different the roads are. Like, no one can drive. They don't teach them how to drive. Like, everyone's just crashing. Everyone's crashing. It's so rare. In England, maybe, I mean, I don't drive around lots, but it's rare. It's like 5-6 times a year I'll see like a crashed car at the side of the road. Something's just happened. In America, in California, driving to the gym, we'd see at least 3 or 4 like crashed cars. Like, every single time we drove to the gym, they are just crashing non-stop there. It's insane how much they crash.
It's not just chill crashes as well. It's not always just like people just like chilling. When we were in Connecticut, the first time we went on the US tour, we were driving to the gym, one of the first days that we went to the gym, and just on like a normal neighborhood street, there was perfectly big enough roads. There's no sharp turns. It's just a straight road. We just saw a car that was literally halfway up a tree. I was like, what? How the fuck has that even happened? Like, how you ended up halfway up a tree and it's like kind of late at night? There's no one else about. Like, what?
It's because it's not much of a big deal there in people. Well, it doesn't feel like, from the people I've been around, I guess, it doesn't seem like much of a big deal to be driving when you're drunk or high. Whereas here, then I think people are, from people I know, are much more cautious about that.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know. The whole culture over there. I love it.
I like how mental it is. I like ending up on screws. I like it. It's fun.
Like, even when I've spent extended periods of time out there, I always kind of feel like, I don't know, it's just nice. I think you do get, I mean, we've been really fortunate with our experiences out there, but there is that freedom of like, there is that feeling of like actual freedom. Do you know what I mean?
It is like anything goes.
Anything could happen.
It's in a good way and a bad way. Cause it's
that's the thing.
But also, it's like, feels dangerous as well. But that's part of the fun. But at the same time, I probably wouldn't want to live there just because of that. Like, if I could live somewhere else, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Australia's pretty sick. Australia feels like the spot. If you're trying to just like, I mean, obviously it's mad expensive, and like, I don't know, property and stuff out there is like insanely expensive, but like, it seems someone said a dude in Florida chased the police with a stick.
I mean, yeah. I've not been to Florida yet, but everything I hear about it sounds mental.
I can't wait. I am so excited to go to. At some point, I'm going to go, and I want I want to just follow Mason Rowley around with a camera. I want to just follow him around with a camera and just have the best time, because he's all of the people in Florida just seem mental in a good way as well.
I don't know if all of them in a good way, but
oh no, from the
trickers,
the trickers,
yeah.
But not everyone in Florida.
The people there, though, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Australia is goals. I want to go to Australia. I've never
you need to go, bro.
Yeah.
It's
well, once I'm,
big.
I don't know. I'm not going to be traveling for a bit, because after moving to Portugal, focus is on getting the spring floor, getting everything set up. I need to be there for at least 3 months to get my residency.
So can you not travel during that period?
I'm not good. I'm just going to be there. I want to just get a house and then be setting up the house.
No, I know, but like, are you allowed to?
I don't.
Or does it?
I don't think so. I think I need to be there for 3 consecutive months for me to apply for the residency thing.
Well,
So
no, I guess actually,
And I only have until December, so I really need to just be there, I think.
Well, it's like, I don't know, this is just music, but surely if you've got a rented property out there or something, then even if you need to come back to the UK or something, I can't see why you would, but like,
I just want to be sure. I think it's just it's just the kind of the EU rules for moving. You're meant to be in the country for 3 months, and then you can apply for the residency.
no, that's fair enough. Yeah.
And I'll be there. Like, the deadline's December, so if I'm going in July, I should be good. I should be in there, get the home spring floor, next 5 years, grinding on that floor. I've been thinking a lot about Instagram, and I don't know, I want to move away from it, really. But I'll figure out some kind of strategy. Maybe I just post once a week and I just don't go on the app, or so. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sick of it, so I'm going to figure something out.
yeah, no, that's fair enough.
But
the whole thing with Instagram and social media as a whole, like, it always comes and goes in waves for me, because like there are periods where I'm like, because at the end of the day, like, I'm able to make like a business, and like I'm super grateful for the opportunities that I've been given because of the fact that I'll be making YouTube videos and posting on Instagram and all that kind of shit, and it does connect me with the people that are interested in the shit that I'm doing, and it's great. But at the same time, for me, there's a lot of people just trashing me, and it gets to a point where I'm just a little bit like,
what's the point of
shut
this?
up. Like, just stop fucking being a prick. It's simple. Like, you don't need to just be a bellend. But yeah, the majority of people are lovely, though.
It's hard. I don't know. I just feel like could just be living a better life, more connected to reality, not a screen. I mean, because of the lockdown, then obviously everyone's spending more time on the internet now. But when I'm in Portugal and the weather's great outside and there's great nature and I have my own spring floor, why would I want to be looking at a screen unless I'm doing my work?
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just factor it into my work day, and I just have like 30 minutes where I respond and post, and then I don't look at it again.
Well, that's the thing.
I'll get some kind of system going.
It's not the tool. It's the way. Yeah, the way that you use the tool. Yeah.
I already turned off my notifications because I know it's so easy for them to make you like look at it.
But, dude, it's the worst for me. Like I'm so bad with that. I'll just lose like 30 minutes just fucking scrolling. And thankfully that's not when I'm doing anything that important.
No, like, it's easy to do that though. It's really easy to do that.
Especially with everyone doing such mental things all the time.
Yeah, there's just Japan going off at all times.
It's like if it's not one of them, it's the other one, and then if it's not that person, then it's someone else, and someone that you've never seen before with a whole new fucking I don't know, a whole new trick that you've never seen before. It just gets a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
All right, it was how long we got left? It's finishing in a minute.
Yeah, 25 seconds.
25 seconds. Oh damn. Let's
do like a little outro. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, because normally we just leave it for like 3 seconds.
Yeah, we're like
But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let us know in the comments if you liked it. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe, turn the notification bell on. Give it a like, share it with your nan. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Been real. Peace.